Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DIY Wrestling Podcast. My name is Gordon Maston, and today we're here to review Smackdown Live. Now, if you see any cuts, breaks, or pauses in this or whatever, and you're wondering why, because I don't know how this is uploaded, and if there are cuts and breaks in it or whatever, then obviously you can tell I'm a bit congested and stuffed up. I myself am dealing with allergies. Probably the most annoying thing ever. And you know what? I'm not cool with it right now. But hold on. Actually, I'm probably gonna go get my drink here, and we'll resume the pod. Yeah, we'll resume the podcast. Okay. So, point being, I'm not feeling the best. This is a very last minute decision to even do this, but I hope you guys can bear with me. Through this thing. Gonna try and go through it as fast as I possibly can. Say all I need to say. All I need to say being, everything that comes to my mind about the show when I go over the segments, because I did not take notes for this whatsoever. So, we start the show off with Daniel Bryan, right? And I didn't even know we are going to be in Washington tonight. I had no clue. And, Seattle, Washington, I had no clue. Daniel Bryan's a hometown boy. So what does he get? He gets ripped into by Zayn and Owens, right? Daniel Bryan just gets absolutely berated by these guys. It was really bad. Bad for Bryan, but not bad for Zayn and Owens, because Zayn and Owens stole the freaking show with this. Not stole the freaking... That's probably over-exaggerating it. That's really over-exaggerating it. But Sammy came out, and, all the character critiques and things we have that are why don't they just do this? This seems fresh and new, and it actually seems like a real-life person, not something just extremely robotic. Why doesn't Sammy just come out and, say, I'm still the same guy, I just have a new outlook on how things go. I'm still me. I'm still the guy who's going to come out and, dance to my music. And I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then he does the perfect give and take, right? Like Paul Heyman always said, the perfect way to construct a promo. And I know Daniel Bryan isn't wrestling, but he said this for a wrestler, right? Just if you're facing somebody on, say, TLC is this Sunday, right? And Dean Ambrose made a statement that he said, we'll take on one guy, two guy, three guy, four guy, five, or whatever. And that's probably a bad example. But when you're saying you'll take on those five guys, you build them up Braun Strowman and the Bar, former tag team champions. Braun Strowman is Roman, he's ran through me, Roman, and Seth. The Miz has beaten me for the Intercontinental Championship before, being Dean Ambrose. He's the last guy he won that championship from was me. All that kind of stuff. To build them up, they're very, that's a tall task to beat, and at Kane is Kane, whatever. They're a very tall task to beat, but as one unit, as a Shield, as the most dominating unit in this company, we have and we will overcome, all these obstacles yet. Yeah. And you know what? We'll do it. Yeah, of course we'll do it. But we may get beaten and battered in the midst of doing it. It's the perfect give and take. Sammy basically said, Brian, I looked up to you back when, we used to, because anytime I thought I was two steps closer to you, you were two steps ahead of me. And he's you were the guy I wanted to be. Instead of talking about how the fans gave Brian all the adulation and cheers and how they didn't go on their part of the... They weren't to Sammy what they were to Brian. They didn't get behind Sammy and force management to do something about it, right? And then Kevin Owens comes out and then clarifies that Daniel Bryan is, a joke. He says, just a bunch of shit like that, right? So then goes on to say Daniel Bryan is what he hates. He's the authority. Daniel Bryan walks up the ramp. Hey, Daniel, where are you going? I'm going to find a couple of guys to punch you in the mouth. That eventually we find out. Later in the night will be Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton. And... excuse me, guys. Okay. That we find out later in the night would be Nakamura and Orton. And we get another singles guy tag team main event. I don't know if I've spoken up about this here on the DIY Wrestling podcast, but it's really annoying to continuously see singles guy main event, singles guy main event, singles guy main event, just continuous singles guy main events. But up next we get a 6-woman tag between Naomi, Carmella. Yeah, Naomi, Carmella. I said Carmella. What the fuck, dude? I'm sorry. Carmella was at ringside for this. I'm sorry. It was Naomi, Becky, Charlotte versus Tamina, Lana, Natalia. Tamina, Lana, and Natalia take the L, while Charlotte gets the win with the figure 8. All around solid performance from everybody. You know, it was a well paced, spotty type of TV match, and yeah, it was what it was. Thus far, if we're going through SmackDown, so far pretty decent start, right? Well, we go from this to Baron Corbin, who is the new U.S. champion, who beat AJ Styles clean last week, versus Sin Cara. And this threw me off a little bit. Baron Corbin lost to Sin Cara by count out. Like, dude looked like I can't even speak. Dude looked like a complete joke. Baron Corbin looked like a complete and utter joke. Like, losing to Sin Cara by a count out. But I guess Corbin Sin Cara is where we go next? Like, what? Are we doing like a throwback to the Kalisto thing? Is this what this is going to be? Like, we just realized, like, Corbin's matches are with guys who fly. Like, his best matches are with guys who fly. And guys who can do good, high flyers. I guess they enjoyed his match with AJ because it's probably the best match he had. AJ dragged something really good out of him. They enjoyed his match with Kalisto, like, which is his best work, honestly, from TLC last year. So we're going to throw him with Sin Cara? We're going to do this again? This kind of thing again? I guess so. But that's how that happened. Up next, we get this thing with the Bludgeon Brothers. It's another vignette. And this time they're walking through, with the hammer, and they smash a camera. That's basically the entirety of this. Instead of a long, drawn out, like, minute and a half thing that they did. At least if it wasn't a minute and a half, it felt that long. And they smashed the camera. We get the Fashion Files. And this is Pulp Fashion Vice or whatever. Yeah, Pulp Fashion Vice or something like that. And the Ascension are like, oh, obviously the guys who attacked you were the Bludgeon and then just Breeze goes down, and it was being over dramatic because he said a sandwich was gross, and I guess they don't want to be friends. I don't know. This was just this. The only funny part was when Ascension made the joke that this is Jump the Shark, and honestly, it has. Up next, we get the New Day celebrating Rusev Day. Nothing really here. Like, honestly, through the rest of the show, it just felt like it was just a complete and utter coast fest where we're just completely coasting through all of it. We get Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, and honestly, Bobby Roode is dying, dude. Like, I don't have any interest in this feud. Maybe because he's wrapped in it with Dolph Ziggler, I don't have any interest in anything this man's doing, right? Because probably it's just Dolph Ziggler and the shit factor that he is. Bobby Roode was the it factor in professional wrestling. Now he's the glorious one. And Dolph Ziggler is the absolute shit factor of professional wrestling. Let's just put it that way. Dolph wins via the tights, and that's 50-50 booking at its finest. That's WWE being complete shitheads. Roode should have won this and completely moved on. I hope we have the rubber match. Like, realistically in WWE, we won't get this thing until about 2 or 3 weeks from now. In a perfect world, because I know there has to be a rubber match, we get this next week, and Ziggler just moves back on to nothingness, right? But that's not going to happen. But up next, we get Jinder Mahal, and this man is doing some crazy drugs. He's doing some crazy drugs. He thinks, oh God. Okay. Yeah, he thinks he can beat Brock Lesnar. He thinks he can beat Brock Lesnar. He said he wants Brock one-on-one at Survivor Series. And honestly, Jinder's off the drugs. More than he already is. I guess those words are getting to his head where he thinks he can beat the Beast. And he challenges him for Survivor Series. And up next comes AJ Styles. He comes out and he wants Mahal for the title. AJ wants Jinder for the title. Right? So, that being said, Jinder basically says, I've beaten everybody I need to beat. And he talks about some little boy in India who's a big fan of his, and he liked the little boy. And he says, well, Maharaja, you have not beaten everybody you've needed to. Well, you know what I mean? You've beaten everybody, and they need to understand that America, how great you are, blah, 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 blah. Moral of the story is, AJ with the Pele knocks Jinder out the ring. Well, basically, the Singh brothers. Next week, AJ is facing Sunil of the Singh brothers. Okay. So anyways, looks like we're getting AJ and Jinder title. And I mean, honestly, you'd think that AJ probably wins the title, right? Like, hopefully this is just something where it goes into, like, you think, like, oh, they're just going to use AJ as a stepping stone. Yes and no. AJ will be used as a stepping stone in a sense where it's like, yeah, Jinder will be AJ on the way up. And then after Jinder's done losing to Brock for Royal Rumble, AJ beats Jinder. Boom, WrestleMania, Nakamura, AJ. Nakamura's best match on the main roster happens. He's champ from there. And everything's perfect. So let's just move on to this singles guy main event so we can transition perfectly, because I said his name is Shinsuke Nakamura. We have Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Honestly, this match was not memorable. I was sitting here on my phone like this, yeah, and it was trash until the very end, where Sami Zayn hits a low blow. Oh, Randy Orton, full of a kick, 1, 2, 3. That's it. That was Smackdown. Oh, wait, and then Owens and Zayn go in the back. They brag to Bryan, haha, we beat the guys you chose, yada yada. What do you guys got for us next week? What do you got for us next week or whatever? I don't know. That's up to Shane McMahon, because that's supposed to be some whole big reveal, and like we see Shane every single week. When he said, I don't know, that's up to blah, blah, blah. I thought Vince was going to walk out of nowhere. But that's not a thing. It's just Shane. He'll be back next week, and that's supposed to be huge. Then they go back out and brag to Orton and Nakamura that they won, and then Owens and Zayn brag. And then Owens hugs Zayn, and they just, yeah. They just brag, and Kevin's like, hug me tighter, da 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 da. Like, that's my best friend, Sami Zayn. Like, we know what this is going. They're building this up for Kevin to turn on Sami. So that's pretty much going to be about that. That's SmackDown. It was absolute trash. I don't know how else to say. That was absolute trash. Once again, that was absolute trash. Like, I feel like when they don't have something that they're aimed towards, like a pay-per-view, they just coast. Like, SmackDown's like, all right, it's going to be like SmackDown before the draft. We're just going to, coast. Like, nothing on this show is going to matter. Wins and losses don't matter. This and that doesn't matter, which is why I'm glad Corey Graves hammered home the point when Sami Zayn got the win tonight. This matters. This matters a lot. This matters. This is huge. Thank you, Corey Graves. And thank you, guys, for watching this episode of the DIY Wrestling Podcast. I'm sorry that I sound like complete utter trash. But you know what? I did it in the name of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I did it because Kevin Owens is a father. Damn it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember, if you did, leave a like on this video if you already haven't. Subscribe if you're not subscribed for more of that. WWE goodness on my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and I'd also like to make an announcement too. Hold on here. Okay, yeah, I'd also like to make an announcement here too that I will have a universe mode WWE 2K 18 my career, and I will have my career. I mean W2K 18. I'll have something for you know what I mean. I'll have a my career for that. I'll have a universe mode for W2K 18. I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of it. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Like I said, remember to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed for more WWE on my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.